All right, now speaking of work,
Yes.
first of all,
Work, honey, work.
I know you were working today. I love every minute of every inch.
Thank
It's
you.
so fabulous.
Well, I did get anointed by Nicole Miller, so things are good.
Yeah, there you go. Right, exactly. She passed the baton, the
passed the baton. She
flowers,
said it
all
was
of the glitter, and
great,
everything else you got
yes.
going on. I love that. So, Ted, I've known you 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we were born yet.
99
I know, a lifetime. We've known each other a lifetime. So you, though, are famous for really working it. You know, because obviously you have the talent. You've been known for years. But what did you do to really kind of network and really get yourself out there?
Well, you know, I have been a hairdresser for longer than a lot of you have been alive. I'll just say that. And I started in the business when models were still on the covers of magazines. And when models were still on the covers of magazines, I remember this moment where, I'll tell you the story. It's kind of a really good story. I was doing a lot of fashion shows in New York and London and Milan and Paris, couture as well, and a lot of editorial. I'm a fashion hairdresser. I lived in New York City. And I was working for Marie Claire magazine on this one day, and Lucy Sykes, if those of you have been around for a while, if you know who Lucy Sykes is, she was the fashion director at the time. And she said, Ted, I have this opportunity that I think you should do. And if you know the history of fashion and you know the history of celebrity, if you were a celebrity hairdresser, you lived in Los Angeles and you weren't very good. True story. If you were a fashion hairdresser, you lived in New York, because we created the trend. So you know the movie Devil Wears Prada when she talks about the cerulean blue? I cut those bangs on Annie Hathaway, by the way. But, but you know that moment where she talks about the cerulean blue? Well, that's what it was. So I had this opportunity to go to London to shoot with Patrick Demarchelier, a cover of Marie Claire and a cover of Cosmo, and she wanted me to do it. And I said, well, who is it? She goes, well, it's a celebrity. I said, I don't want to do it. I'm a fashion hairdresser. We don't do celebrities. We do shows, we do campaigns for Nicole Miller, we do Neiman Marcus, blah, blah, blah. And she said, no, you really have to do it. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, you know that moment when someone who maybe your mentor or someone that you really think about that tells you or encourages you to do something different, and we listen. This was one of those moments, right? So I said to her, okay, who is it? She said, well, it's Angelina Jolie. I said,
well,
really?
we don't have a mic for you to drop, by the way.
I said,
that's
really?
a mic drop moment.
I said, really? She said, yes, you have to do it. So I flew to London and shot those 2 covers with Angie, and we fell in love, because those of you women know when you're with your hairdresser, there's no other relationship that you have with anyone else in your life than your hairdresser.
You know what?
You can take a breath on that.
Back in the day before Dr. Perricone, they would say that they know where the scars are. But now we don't have any anymore.
Yes. So that's what happened. It changed my career. I listened to Lucy. I worked with Angie. I took that girl from the weird one with the blood around her neck, if you remember. Remember that girl that kissed her brother at that girl, into the beauty icon that we know today. And the reason why I say that, I had something to do with that, is because #hair changes everything. And there are moments in a woman's life, and all you straight dudes in here, if your wife or your girlfriend changes her hair, she's looking for a new man. So just get ready. You better do a lot. You better buy those diamonds. Just saying.
Oh
so
my
that's
God.
just kind of a little.
That's a great way to
tidbit.
sum that up, Ted. I love that. I know. So now, sir.
Yes, sir.
Back to you.
Yes.
And I know you have more juicy stories, but you know, being a celebrity hairstylist and really taking the test of time, and you know, so many of us, you know, even within my field and what I've done in the past, so many people come to me now and they're saying, oh, I'm aging out, or they've aged out. You, sir, will never age out.
Sweet. Thank you, Darren.
And so what are some of your practices that you do to make sure you don't age out?
Well, you know, I do think it takes a lot of work. I think I am definitely about the reinvention. My husband Jason and I, we have owned 4 salons in 4 different states, and had a successful product line that was sold at Henry Bendel and Saks Fifth Avenue and Sephora and Target and everywhere else you can think of. And 2016, just to tell you honestly, in 2016, we closed 2 salons. We had 1 salon in New York City on Fifth Avenue between 22nd and 23rd Street.
Yes, I've been many times. Loved it. Incredible.
It got to the point where I would cut someone's hair, I would bring them up to the 24th retail shelf, and I would tell her all the products that I used on her and what she should use, and she would be right in front of me with her phone, putting it all on her shopping cart, and having it drop shipped to her house. So I'm like, okay, so the business is changing. There's something going on. And then we would go to beauty schools, and we would pluck people out of beauty school and put them directly into the salon, and they were saying, we don't want to be an apprentice for 2 years in So Famous. We don't want to be an apprentice for 2 years. We want that instant gratification and want to be famous immediately. So Jason and I decided we were going to close that Fifth Avenue salon because it was $25,000 rent on the 2nd floor in Manhattan. The kids were not wanting to be in school anymore. They didn't want the education because they could go to YouTube or wherever. We closed everything. We sold our apartment in New York City. We sold our house upstate, and we moved to LA and opened our new brand called Starring by Ted Gibson, the first smart salon in the world. So when you talk about reinventing or thinking about things differently, we had to, because we knew that the salon model was changing, that people wanted something different. So everything was smart technology in the salon. It's really beautiful. And as the next thing is, we just are launching our own reality show called Blowing LA that's coming. It's streaming all over the world now. It's coming to the US next. And lots of drama, so you're going to love it.
Now we're going to do a bonus round. So everyone can just talk really briefly about how you emotionally connect to your audience. Because as we know, with social media now, so much branding is done through social media. I mean, you can buy major ad campaigns, you can, billboards, television, everything. And it really comes down to the person that's behind the brand and what's really important, especially with everyone here, because so much of it's personal. And Ted, my friend, go on.
Well, I feel like that my career has gone kind of full circle. Jason and I, during the pandemic, we decided that when everything shut down in Los Angeles and California, it was really tough on us. And the governor shut us down and wouldn't, and we're sanitized. I mean, we're licensed sanitized. We know about sanitation. And we decided that we needed to do something. And so what we did is we set up a nonprofit called the Worth Up Alliance. If you go to worthupalliance.org, what Worth Up Alliance is really help the next generation of beauty entrepreneurs become successful. And what that means is, for those of you who've decided that you wanted to open a beauty school, or if you want to launch a product, or you want to open a salon or a spa, what we've done is we have pulled the most amazing mentors with the people that want to do that. And this last session, we just gave away $33,000 in Chicago at the ABS show to 3 would-be beauty entrepreneurs.
Amazing.
Yes. And this last one, the mentors we had, I'm going to call you because you're going to be a great mentor. We had Lisa Price from Carol's Daughter. We had Carol Aronson, who is the only Latina, hear this, the only Latina beauty brand owner, billion-dollar hair care company. If you know the company.
Oh, wow.
It's called It's a 10. If you don't know the company, look it up. It's a 10. Her name is Carolyn Aronson. She's amazing. What we've done is we've pulled these mentors together, and I'm calling you, pulled these mentors together to talk to the next generation of beauty entrepreneurs.
Amazing.